The busy streets below took on a golden hue as the sun sank low over New York City. There was a lot of joking and the clinking of glasses at this hip restaurant, but there was one table where things would change drastically. Seated across from Jim Jones, Chrissy Lampkin gave him a determined but unsatisfied gaze. Unlike the innumerable highs and lows the two had experienced together, this time seemed different. Darkness hovered over their exchange. There was no room for Jim's mother and Chrissy to fight. "Jim, we must discuss your mother." Chrissy had a calming yet fervent voice. "She treats me disrespectfully at every turn, so I can't keep acting like everything is all right." Jim stroked the back of his neck, sighing. "Yes, but she's my mom as well. You have to consider her point of view." Christ's gaze arched and pierced through. "Not only your mom, but also the manner in which she handles me. She won't get enough support from this." The buzzing sound of Jim's phone on the table scattered pieces of unresolved feelings all over the place. Jim's face hardened as he received the unpleasant-sounding text from his mother. "It's unbelievable that she's reaching out to me at this moment. She says you're causing strife in our family. Because the show showed that I just want to be, but your mother won't let me be in your life." When Chrissy spoke up, the other guests turned to hear her. Jim snapped, "You're at her throat all the time. Maybe if you tried to understand her, things would change." At the edge of their table, someone materialized before Chrissy could respond. Jim's mother had a fierce look of fury in her eyes. "Chrissy, I'm sick of your disrespect. You act as though you could simply enter this room and take my son." The strain broke like a strained thread. Chrissy answered, "Even if I'm not attempting to steal him from you, you still need to treat me with respect." The whole thing quickly got out of hand. Chrissy's remark, "You're going to let her talk to me like that," hung there like an invitation to Jim as he got up to face her. Jim's face contorted in struggle as he felt his mother's allegiances pulling at him. "Mom, please," but Chrissy was finished. She leaped from her chair, her rage shooting out of her like flames. "We are unable to work as a result. In the middle of the mayhem, you allowed her to take control of everything." Jim was done. His hand touched Chrissy as he sought to go closer out of a strong desire, slapping her face so forcefully that the diners were startled into quiet. Gasps sounded all around them. Jim's heart raced as he understood what he had just done, and his eyes grew wide with shock. Chrissy remained motionless. Her face displayed intense anguish, yet beneath it all was intense willpower. Tears filled her eyes as she asked, "Is this who you are?" "You moved her aside for me." Jim's heart broke at that moment. He was aware of the consequences of going on, but Chris interrupted him. She spoke slowly. "No, Jim, I refuse to get embroiled in a romantic triangle with your mother. You have to make your own choices." Jim remained motionless while she pivoted and moved off. Dan was drawn in by the silence of the restaurant and felt the weight of what had happened. He had a terrible feeling. Betrayal, love, and loyalty are all mixed together. Jim felt his heart rush at the realization of how important this was. Would he stand up for Chrissy or allow their love to be overshadowed by the tides of familial loyalty? He did say yes when she got down on one knee, but he knew that this was going to be different since he had to make a choice. The pair has not yet exchanged vows. On December 13, Chrissy Lampkin and Jim Jones were in New York. Backstage at Barclays Center during Deucepalooza on December 13, 2019 in New York City. Wire photo by Johnny Nunes. It must finally come to an end. On the third season of Family Reunion, Love and Hip Hop Edition on VH1, Chrissy Lampkin tells Jim Jones in 2021 that although she and her partner had been together for 18 years, Lampkin seemed to be past the concept of getting married. She abruptly declined his proposal when he made it. "You want me to be this crazy, loving cook this, that, and the other, but when I come home, you're cold, mean, and distant," she said. During a heated discussion between the two, Jones admitted his mistakes out of concern about being held accountable. "Being the family's guy, all I know how to do is try to make money and support my family. I love you more than anyone in this world could ever know, so please never think that I'm being self-centered." Even though it has been a lengthy journey, Chrissy believes that it will eventually come to a conclusion. In the most recent Love and Hip Hop New York episode, Chrissy Lampkin talked about the reasons behind her and Jim's extended engagement. She also talked about her almost 7-year hiatus from the show and stressed that the producers wanted to get back to her and get to the core of the show when they initially contacted her. As she talked, she considered her partnership. She said, "We're in a good place with our relationship. Although it's not for everyone, I've always believed that marriage is the next logical step. For now, everything is ok." Jim and Chrissy started dating in 2004 and have had a number of difficulties. Their relationship has faced several difficulties throughout the years, which Chrissy openly talked about in 2016. She used the argument, "What's the point of getting married before either of us is really ready?" to justify her decision to keep dating her ex-fiancé. "People move at different speeds. I'm here because I've decided to do this, not to go through a divorce." Love and Hip Hop has written a lot about their romance. The two will be featured in the upcoming season 10, which premieres on VH1 on December 16. Prominently, a pivotal moment in their relationship, according to many fans, was Chrissy moving to Miami and leaving Jim behind in a well-known scene while she was in New York. Knowing he would lose her, Jim took a brave step and asked to. Chrissy did a fantastic job making up for his lack of commitment in Miami earlier in the year. Fans were left wondering what would happen to their love as the couple chose not to be married. A few moments in their relationship have been presented over the years, highlighting both their shared commitment and the difficulties they encounter. Chrissy has alluded to more significant problems without giving all the information. She has declared her love for Jim in spite of reports that they are committed. Her desire to be married and become well-known demonstrates a commitment that is difficult to overlook. But if she's thinking about moving on, her most recent social media post implies that she might be nearing a breaking point. Unresolved problems that have hampered their relationship for far too long might be the cause. Chrissy admitted that she had been content with their relationship for far too long in a more recent interview. Chrissy recently shared her delight in their current relationship in an interview. "There won't be any more disappointments because there won't be any new expectations," she said. "Thus, my love life is good. Everything seems familiar since we've been together for so long, but it's not. My primary concern," there's a tinge of resignation in her response, as if she's come to terms with the possibility that their love story won't end in marriage. Jim and Chrissy's relationship has been everything but simple. It has been full of deep emotional difficulties, as well as intimate moments of tenderness. Their path exemplifies the difficulties of love in the spotlight, regardless of the choices they make in the future. Chrissy is determined to put her personal happiness and well-being first as she and her partner work through this difficult period in their lives. It's unclear if Jim will intervene on her behalf or if their long-term relationship would continue as a vow without a formal wedding. There has been ongoing speculation as to why Chrissy and her partner haven't been married, despite the fact that she remains committed to her own development and well-being. Excuses range from commitment concerns to personal disputes, and the ambiguity of their futures only intensifies the dialogue that has already occurred. Chrissy's cryptic Instagram remark, "You and I both know he will never ever find someone like me," added fuel to the flames. Nevertheless, good luck with your endeavors. By tomorrow, please accept your place. Many fans took this note, whose source is still unknown, to be a hint from Jim that things might not be going well in their relationship and that Chrissy might be ready to call it quits on their protracted engagement, which is ultimately what keeps their relationship going strong. Perhaps realized in their love for one another, even if it doesn't follow social norms. Their story captivates the audience, who wants to know more about their relationship. As they resolve issues, they are learning what it means to put their happiness first in a world of expectations. The true test of their love may be found in their ability to grow, adapt, and support one another through whatever comes next. Chrissy and Jim remind us that relationships are about the journey and changes that come with it. The fascination with their trip highlights the universal themes of love, commitment, and personal growth to which a large number of individuals may identify. Any form of clarity, understanding, and happiness they deserve is our wish for them both. as they both welcome this next stage of their lives. What makes people content and fulfilled should always be the major focus, regardless of whether they decide to get married or stay single. The world is closely observing Chrissy and Jim as they navigate this new chapter, hoping for clarity and happiness for both of them, regardless of the path they ultimately choose. The dynamics of their relationship shift over the course of the days, bringing to light the highs and lows of being in love. Since the path of love is rarely straight, staying true to oneself while navigating the difficulties of a connection can often be the most important thing for people who are still on their trip. It serves as a reminder that love isn't always simple, even after years of dating and shared experiences. Every exchange and public appearance, aside from their disagreement with Mama, adds to the story they are co-writing. Joan serves as a continual reminder of the value of family and social relationships and the sometimes difficult nature of navigating those waters. Through the years, Jim and Chrissy have both grown as individuals by learning from their achievements and setbacks. As they reflect on their partnership, they may consider their future goals. Marriage-related conversations often reflect broader cultural norms, and it's evident that Jim and Chrissy are handling them differently from one another. Throughout their journey together, they have discovered a lot about love, communication, respect, and understanding. Given the stressful atmosphere created by expectations from the industry and the family fan base, it could be challenging to figure out what is truly best for them. Their continued engagement is proof of the complexity of contemporary relationships, in which preparation or desire on the part of the individual doesn't always align with established criteria.